皆さんこんばんは。これは遊戯王カードマーケット映画です。はい、どうぞ。Good evening, love YouTubers. White Mexican back again for another Market Watch investments video for you guys tonight. I have a plethora of things that I'm going to be showcasing for you guys. These are going to be my personal selections, and I do hope that you enjoy. Getting things kickstarted is going to be a few samplers from Ghosts of the Past. There's a few cards that I wanted to mention that are my personal top selections, so we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. Getting started is going to be Heretic Dragon of Este. This card is the only hollow foil as an ultra rare. I believe the original versions were all commons, so only one other print, original print from Galactic Overlord as a common. So even though ultra rare is the most disgusting, hideous rarity of all time, and it just makes you want to like fall into a black hole and never escape, it is very, very nice compared to the common, I do have to admit. So we're going to go ahead and look at some conditionings here. This card is relatively affordable. I mean, first market price is like not even a quarter, so I'm going to switch over to 3 stacks to get some viability for bulk prices. It looks like it's about a bone across the board. There is a 10 stack from Card Brush for Near Mint First Edition. The thing that I want to specifically designate about this card is the fact that you can special summon when it gets tributed. So you don't even have to run this in Heretic. You can run this in any kind of generic tribute eccentric deck, and you can go and you can dig and get that special summon from your deck. Now granted, it does have the limiting condition that it does have to specifically be a normal type dragon, but there is plenty of availability. There is no limitation to a certain extent for that. So this is really, really unique about this particular Heretic card. I love Heretics in general. They have awesome artwork, and it's just a really great engine in general, but this specifically, this is what is very distinguished about Este specifically. So it's really, really great. Next is going to be Terror of Trishula. So obviously this came out as a common in the structure deck, and it got a rarity update to ultra rare, which also looks very, very nice. Again, I mean, compared to just the common, this is going to be pretty nice. Really great artwork in this, a really great effect, and this is just insanely affordable. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to stacks. You can see here, lightly played, there's a 9 stack here for not even a quarter, and plenty of availability, 5+ pages. This structure just came out, so that's to be expected, but really, really undervalued for the price and a really good card. Next is going to be definitely by far the MVP card in Ghosts of the Past. It's going to be the ultra rare updated print of Royal Prison. This has amazing artwork. This looks really, really nice compared to its rare counterpart from Order of Chaos, and I think this is highly underrated. Floodgate, really, really great stuff. And I can't have, sing enough praise about this card. This is insanely affordable. We're gonna go ahead and switch over to stacks. There's a couple 3 stacks here for about 75 cents, and then looking for some big stacks because you definitely want to buy like in bulk here. Like here's a bulk of 21 from Core TCG Near Mint First Edition. Just delicious, utterly amazing. I highly recommend. Like this is like the White Mexican special ideal out of Ghosts from the Past. I really, really, really believe and support this card. Next is going to be Ojama Country. So pretty much all of the field magics from this card, from this set, Ojama Country, what's it called, Madolche Chateau, Gear Town. There's a lot of really great field cards that field magic cards that got the rarity update, and there's only one other print of this, and for the longest time it was like insanely expensive, and even the first edition rares are still relatively expensive. So this by far is another really great choice. It's pretty much a bone across the board, and there's plenty of availability. So again, as we get further away from these sets, the prices are going to increase, and with this set just being dropped, just being brand new, it's ideal time to pick up in bulk very, very affordably. Alright, so next is going to be Galaxy Serpent. So let's just take a moment to just appreciate the artwork in this card. I love super rare vanilla monsters. This artwork is really great, and it's a light dragon. It is a tuner, and I just really like the artwork a lot. This is specifically the version from the super rare version from I forget what set this was, but anyway, here's all the versions right here. I guess it was Judgment of the Light on the original OG super rare, which actually got for a pretty good price for the first editions, and then there was an ultra rare reprint for I guess the special edition, and then 2 crap commons that can go die in a ditch somewhere because no one really loves them. But this is the ideal print here, and there unfortunately isn't really much of stacks available. I'm going to switch over to stacks. I mean, there's a couple onesie twosies OCGs here. You can see the whole entire first page is 1 stacks. Obviously, you're going to want to go first edition. It's about a bone for this first edition lightly played. But if you switch over to stacks, that's when it goes up just a little bit. There's a single listing of a stack of 3, and it goes all the way up to 3 bones before you factor in shipping, which isn't too terribly expensive, but I don't know. I feel like no one is really noticing this card. And again, the sheer fact that it's a level 2 light dragon, even though it's a vanilla, it is a tuner, and it's got amazing artwork, and Judgment of the Light is an extremely old set, so I would definitely recommend this specifically for the first edition as opposed to the special edition ultra rares. Another really great card is going to be Labradorite Dragon, which is really, really great. There's a common and a super rare version, so ideally, obviously, you're going to want to go for the super rare version, and this card's artwork is just phenomenal. Like, this thing looks like an alien dinosaur dragon monster, like, pissed off and tripping on acid. I don't even know what's going on in here, but it's got really badass artwork. And again, it's just another like relatively old school tuner vanilla. This one actually happens to be, what is it, a level 6, which is, pretty cool. This one is a dark dragon, which is pretty cool. And even more so, I do appreciate the artwork even more so in this card as opposed to the Galaxy Serpent, which are both phenomenal. But this just has really great artwork, and I think this is a really underappreciated card. And it's this one as well. It's been definitely maybe not like popularized, but it's not as cheap as I thought it would be. I mean, starting market price we can see here for lightly played first edition is roughly around 4 bones after you factor in shipping. There's only 2 pages of availability, and if you want to buy in bulk, there is not even a single stack bulk price. So it's pretty incredible. This card, again, it's just, I think it's good because, I mean, given the situation, it's definitely a situational card, but again, it's just Shadow Spectre. There really wasn't anything really great that came out of this set. I think, like, Mistake was, like, one of the only, like, big hitters that came out of this, in my personal opinion, that I can remember. Just an all-around really great card, so just wanted to give it some love. Alright, so next, I wanted to follow up on one of the Ghost Rare versions of the OCG Japanese Dark Magician Girls. Obviously, we didn't get Dark Magician Girl and Ghost of the Past, like, thank you God, and it was awesome because now we can continue to hunt after the OCG versions, and there actually wasn't really much of a price influx with this card. Before Ghost of the Past dropped, it was still roughly, around 200 bones at 217, and we can see here there's a couple versions for, just the Phantom under, well, several here, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's like 5, so there's 5 different listings here, all for under 200 bones, which, is actually more affordable than it actually is in Japan, which is very surprising. I have a really good friend, my friend Ayaka, in Japan, and I have actually, not like on a weekly basis, but every once in a while, I hit her up on Facebook and I ask her to check kind of the local stores in northern mainland Japan to check out the prices on this. And this is actually going for, I want to say, like the equivalent to like around $225, $250. So surprisingly enough, I don't know why it's more affordable to get this online, but this is just amazing, an amazing card, amazing artwork. Obviously, this is for purely collectability purposes. If you guys didn't know, of course, obviously there was another version that was the original artwork, and it looks great. It's really hard to find, though. It's extremely hard to find. This was actually the second Ghost print that they got. The original Ghost print is right here. Is there versions? I don't really. Okay, so maybe actually it is here. I guess it's on TCG Player. I don't really know if there's like none available, or I don't know what's going on here, but this is what it looks like here. I'm trying to get a closer look because this is, it is very, very gorgeous. It's definitely aesthetically pleasing, and anyway, it's kind of okay. So I guess maybe this is like, but yeah, this is a real thing. This is what it looks like. Obviously, this is not like this is like a, an animation. It's not a real, but it's the OG Magician's Force artwork. Really, really hard to find. Very, very expensive. I've actually had a hard time even finding a price quote specifically for this variant. So, really awesome stuff to look forward to. Next is going to be some mats. So every once in a while, I kind of pop into this seller right here, GG Minhai. This is a Chinese seller, and normally I'm very, very hesitant, as everyone should be, quality of Chinese-based products because they're not always good quality, but I can vouch for the seller. I've personally bought mats from this seller, never had an issue. The only complaint I do have is it does take a very, very long, like 1 to 2 months to deliver because it's coming all the way from probably like a fishing boat somewhere in like the rice paddies or something. It's pretty crazy, but it definitely comes. I've never had an issue of it not coming, and it's always really good quality, which is very surprising. This is one of Black Rose, which I think looks pretty awesome. There's another one over here, which I've showcased before, which I think is just phenomenal. I love how it has like the Yu-Gi-Oh logo. And then, of course, it has the black armored Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician, which looks really cool. One thing about this, though, is I don't know if this is... It's hard to tell if this is, like, the uncensored version because you can't really see the pendant. I don't know if it has like, the black magic symbol in there or not. And obviously, there's a little bit of more modesty for Dark Magician Girl on this one. But all around good, a good piece of art. And then, of course, you have Tour Guide. I'm a huge fan of Tour Guide, and I actually have a huge blow-up of this in my room. I actually custom made a giant blanket, like a really nice blanket that I actually utilize as a decoration here on the wall of my house, which I really like a lot. But I was really surprised to find this in matte form, and, you know, it's got, like, the inlays and all that, and it looks really cool. And I haven't decided on this. I don't know if I want to get a copy of this, but, you know, I just really like this artwork a lot. I don't know specifically what artist made this, but it looks really cool, and I'm just, you know, I really like Tour Guide a lot. So really quickly, just wanted to kind of, you know, let you guys know, there is some people comment, or not really like ask about, but I feel like every once in a while I get some, you know, pretty kind comments about my YouTube thumbnails, and I wanted to let you guys kind of know what I use. I actually use Canva.com. It's completely free. There is a pro version that you can pay for a subscription. I personally don't. The basic version like gives you plenty of options, and you know, this is what I use. It's really great. It's really simple to use. You can, you know, Google Images is where I get all my stuff, and then you just save them and you can upload them, and it's pretty cool. You just, you know, drag and drop, and you can readjust things. You do have to be careful for quality of photo. Obviously, if you get like a bad quality photo, it's gonna blur out when you blow it up and all that stuff. So you want to make sure you're getting some pretty solid images, but you can just drag and drop stuff, and then, you know, you can kind of just customize it, and you can add different texts, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. So this is what I use specifically for my thumbnails. So if you guys have your own YugiTube channels and you guys want to make some really killer custom thumbnails for free under a platform that's very user-friendly, I highly recommend Canva.com. It's really great. All right, so next is going to be Legendary Collection Kaiba. So I have nothing but praise for the Legendary Collection set. I get super excited when a Legendary Collection set drops. There's always just phenomenal card choices and amazing rarities. And Legendary Collection Kaiba is no stranger to that formula. And there's a couple cards that I'm just going to review here really quick. And I'm going to be reviewing stacks because these are some of the more affordable cards. And so the first one's going to be Exile of the Wicked. So keep in mind, there is obviously more expensive versions. Obviously, like the super rare version, which was the first holo print down on Tournament Pack 2. Obviously, insanely old, insanely collectible, very, very high in value. And then you have the Tournament Pack 4. But there is this ultra rare, which is insanely affordable right now. I mean, you get, you know, pretty much like 20 cents. There's a 13 stack for 20 cents here for near mint first edition, and you know, there's plenty of availability still. Now, keep in mind, Legendary Collection Kaiba is a lot newer compared to the other Legendary Collections like Legendary Collection 2 and Legendary Collection 3 and 4. All phenomenal sets, but these sets just continue to get older and older and older, and as they get older, they become more collector cards, harder to get on the market, and I just think this is a really amazing a choice, especially because it's just so insanely affordable. Next is going to be Rider of the Stormwinds. So this isn't really more specifically for collectability. Obviously, there's other versions. I think there's one other version or two other versions, but unfortunately, they're all common. So this being the best rarity is an ultra rare. It's like an oxymoron saying best rarity and ultra rare in the same statement. But compared to the commons, I'd be lying to you if I didn't state that the ultra rares ideally are a little bit more aesthetically pleasing amazing as opposed to commons. Any other choice would be better than this terribleness, but it's kind of all we have right now. And this card is really good. I'm really surprised that like hardcore Blue Eyes players, I don't really see them running this. I mean, it's a tuner, it's a level 1, it's a light, it's a dragon. You can equip it to a Blue Eyes or whatever other normal monster that you're using, dragon type, and you can do piercing damage, and then also you can, use it to, defend your monster, which I think is great. I mean, it's like 3 different effects. Really, really great. And this is just insanely affordable. There's a 6-stack here for under a quarter for Near Mint First Edition, and there's plenty to go around for availability. So another great selection. Next is going to be Castle of the Dragon Souls. This has really great artwork, 2 different awesome effects, and I don't know what the other versions are. I think they're just like commons or something. This is another great card that's insanely affordable. I mean, starting market price for stacks is a quarter for Near Mint First Edition, so that's another really great card. Next is going to be Warrior Elimination. So just like Exile of the Fiends, this is, specifically for warriors, and not quite as cool artwork as Exile of the Fiends, but still really, really cool in general. And again, I mean, this is, under a quarter for a 17 stack for Near Mint First Edition. So this is pretty awesome. Next is going to be Giant Red Snake. Obviously, just kind of like the other versions, there's some tournament pack, and these are actually kind of reprints from tournament pack stuff. Like you got super rare and this world, a championship apparently, which is, completely gone, obviously. And then, super and rare from the original tournament packs. But very, very affordably, it's nice that it does have the benefit that it's the highest rarity, even though it may not be the best rarity. It is technically in the hierarchy of the game. It's the highest rarity, and it's insanely affordable. We can see here stack start for first edition lightly played for about 40 cents. Well, actually, it's not even stacks here. Let's see. These are all not stacks. I don't know why. Let me switch over to stacks so I can show you guys. Alright, so stacks start at roughly around a bone. It's about 85 cents before you factor in shipping for Near Mint First Edition. There's a 3 stack here, and then there's an 18 stack here. This, ideally, I do have to specifically mention that Giant Red Sea Snake is one of the ideal cards to pick up. I mean, if you just go back and you look at Legendary Collections 3 and 4, and you look at some of the ultra vanillas like Silver Wolf, and I'm kind of blanking on the names, but for the first edition prints, they're going for really good money. They're all like 6, 8 plus. And again, as this set just continues to get older, and these are so insanely affordable right now, and we're getting to the point, only 2 pages of availability on the stacks as well, so that's just a really great choice. Judge Man is going to be another one. I would be a little wary of this one. I would prioritize Giant Red Sea Snake first, well actually second. First is going to be Lai Jin, but then would be Giant Red, and then actually Judgment Man first. It's kind of hard to find these. Usually people don't hold on to these. They kind of pitch them away, but I was able to actually pick up a copy of this not too long ago in a trade, which is fine because they're insanely affordable. You can see here, starting market price for stack is a 9 for 39 for lightly played first, and then it goes to 50 for first Near Mint, and there's a 6 stack here. So there's plenty of availability, 2 pages of availability for stacks. And so the only thing is the artwork is just not very good. Like, he looks really silly. Like, he looks like kind of like a, I don't know, like a gargoyle or something. It's just, I don't know. It's just not, the artwork is not really aesthetically pleasing to me personally, but this is an insanely old card, and it is a rarity update, and, it was a big part of the anime, so it's definitely kind of got like that going for it. The reason why I say specifically to prioritize Lai Jin first, then Giant Red, and then maybe possibly Judge Man, but in that order, is because Lai Jin has a really amazing history merit in the game. This with like 7 Colored Fish and like Harpy's Brother, like back in the day, these used to be like standard like vanilla beaters before we got like Gemini Elf, and Konami started upticking the competitiveness in the game for attack points and all that. So this is, and it's got really cool artwork too. I mean, it's got really cool artwork. There actually is a super rare version that's really expensive, obviously because it's from Retro Pack. I really do not like the alternative artwork. Like, I'm just not a fan. Like, every time Konami pushes out an alternative artwork, I just think it looks like total garbage, but that's just personal player preference. So here it is right here. Retro Pack 1 donned the only other holo foil as a super rare, and this card is pretty much like gone. The first 3 stack is actually European Italian for 90 bones a piece. If I take off the stacks, there's a couple more, but even starting market price for lightly played is 72. So keep in mind there was no first edition run print for this set, so but it's Retro Pack, and Retro Pack's insanely old. I don't know if it was like short produced or what, but it's always insanely high values. But again, this is just a really great card, and again, the best thing is it's insanely affordable. We can see here there's first edition Near Mint stack starting for 48 cents, and then lightly played first edition for 39 for a 5 stack. So you guys really need to get on this. There's only 3 pages of stacks for this first edition. Near Mint or better. Well, ideally Near Mint, but you know, lightly played Near Mint is roughly around almost the same price. So we might as well just go Near Mint because this is all going to be for collectability purposes. Next is going to be Neuron Blast. So this is a very situational card, but it is a high rarity secret rare, and it's got kind of like that Blue Eyes allure to it. Artwork is relatively cool, and you know, if you pull this off, you pretty much win. So I mean, for like a hardcore Blue Eyes player that actually is going to find like a sneaky way to summon this fusion, I think that this is a relatively strong card. We can see here stack start for about a half a bone for a 3 stack for Near Mint first edition. It kind of just trickles up after that. 4 pages of availability. So this may be something that you guys want to consider. Maybe, maybe not. I haven't personally not investing in it, but I definitely wanted to push it out to you guys because I think, you know, it can be different for others. Next is going to be Chain Disappearance. So this is the highest rarity is a secret rare, and this is just another insanely affordable card. For looking at stacks, first stack of Near Mint first edition starts at a bone for a 4 stack, and it kind of trickles on after that. 3 pages availability. This is the highest rarity hierarchy wise, but of course there was a Turbo Pack Booster 6 super rare, which is going to be a little bit more difficult to find, and ideally is going to be the rarest per se. But this is just so much more expensive. I mean, starting market price for this for stacks is going to be 20 bones. I think this might be maybe probably European German or something. If we take off stacks, starting market price for lightly played is roughly around 9. Then Near Mint goes to 10. So it's just a lot more costly as opposed to the other versions. So why would you not pay way less and get a higher rarity that looks aesthetically more pleasing than the super rare, in my personal opinion? But you know, it's completely player preference, up to you guys. Alright, so next again is going to be some more Blue Eyes fanboy fodder. Burst Stream of Destruction. So obviously the original print was an ultra out of Ancient Sanctuary, I believe, which was actually a really exciting card back then because the game was really slow, and Blue Eyes still, it never really goes out of style, but even back then it was still kind of having its touchstones with Generation 1 players. Really great artwork. Obviously this is the highest rarity as a secret rare, and not really a competitive card. It's relatively situational, but the sheer fact that it does associate with Blue Eyes, and it is high rarity secret rare, and does have really cool artwork, I have to admit, this might be an ideal choice to pick up. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to stacks. Starting stack for first edition is not even a bone, and there's a whopping 78 stack here for Near Mint first edition, so plenty of availability for you guys to pick up this card, so definitely something to consider. Next is going to be a solo print secret rare, which was actually, I think, one of like the promo cards, or like, when you actually got like the box, I think like every box carried a couple like standard promo cards, and I'm pretty sure this was one of them. But the biggest thing for this is it is a solo print. Still to the day, this has not had a reprint. The only way you're going to get it is from the set as a secret rare, and obviously a very situational card. Artwork is kind of so-and-so. It's not really much of anything, personally, in my opinion. And, this card has slightly gone up. Stacks of 3+ start at around roughly a bone. Near Mint first edition here, and we can kind of see trickles up after that. Only 2 pages of availability for stacks. If you don't want stacks, can do onesie twosies, which are still, the first edition is a stack of 5, so it doesn't really matter. I don't know. So this is it's a solo print, and its effect is really good. It's just extremely situational, but who knows when this may possibly see meta play, maybe not, but the sheer fact again that this is an exclusive promo for the set, and that's kind of all I have to say about that. Next is going to be Majesty with Eyes of Blue. Again, more Blue Eyes fanboy fodder. This is going to go on and off all day long because this is Legendary Collection Kaiba. Obviously, Kaiba's trump card is Blue Eyes, so it's going to be a lot of Blue Eyes stuff. And we're going to go ahead and switch over to stacks here. First stack for Near Mint First Edition is going to be roughly around 2 bones for an 11 stack, which is not that bad. Again, this is actually a pretty good card. I love how it has a diversity of being a quick play, and again, just, pretty relatively cool artwork. It's got the sparkles and, of course, blue eyes. High rarity, secret rare, so it's got a lot of really good stuff going on for it, and again, just some more blue eyes fanboy fodder. Next is going to be, okay, so the set in general, I'm just going to quickly do a flash review. There's just so many cards. Like, again, the Legendary Collection sets are just so phenomenal that there's too much to talk about. So really quickly, you might want to take a look at Dragon Revival. This is really great, high rarity, secret rare, really awesome artwork. All the Assault Cores, ABCs, Alpha, Charlie, and Bravo, really great. Obviously, Azure Eyes is really awesome. The King of D and Just Desserts, the only hollow foil that we have of this. Maiden with Eyes of Blue is a really great blue eye support card. Really great artwork, really great effect, and this is the highest rarity of secret rare. And let's see what else here. Of course, Dark Arm Dragon has seen a little bit of uptick in price, as it should, because this is just as pleasing as the Phantom Darkness versions, if not even better, because the updated rarity of the level stars and the attributes being hollowed out. Silver's Cry is pretty great. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, I feel like this is kind of a sleeper. There is, I want to say, only one other version that's secret rare, which is surprisingly enough Shonen Jump promo, which is interesting because usually those are ultra rares. So there's this one, and then is it even going to show it? Yeah, it's right here. The Shonen Jump secret rare. Oh, actually, there was 2. Okay, no, that's retro pack. So there is several copies, and some of them are going for really good prices here. Like even like the 2008 Gen 1 Gold Series going for some good stuff. The Shonen Jump Ultra Rare is going. Ideally, my favorite is the secret rares from the Jump magazine, which looks like it's just right here. So but healthy alternative, like I wouldn't discredit the Legendary Collection Kaiba just because it's a newer print of secret. It's still very much a secret rare and very much like the go-to anime card for fusion for Kaiba. So really great. This is the Jump one. I'm going to take off stacks because apparently it's not available. Starring Microprice has gone up a little bit. It's about 17 bones for lightly played. Then it goes all the way up to almost 40 bones, about 37, 38 bones for Near Mint. So incredible price differentiation between lightly played and Near Mint right there. So really great stuff on that. Again, I just highly recommend that you guys just dip through these sets, all of the Legendary Collection sets. Again, like they just have what's it called? Utopia. Yeah, this is obviously really great too. Obviously, there's the Ultimate Rare, but this is still very nice as well. Make sure you get first edition. Thunder Dragon. This also comes super rare. I'm not really sure if I like the super rare or the ultra rares better, honestly, because this card, it actually, because of the way the card's laid out, it actually does, surprisingly enough, actually look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing in ultra rare print. And I just really like Thunder Dragons in general. Dragon Spirit of White has been going up a little bit. Really great card. High rarity, secret rare. Obviously, ABC Buster Dragon is highest rarity. White Dragon, White Stone of Legend, White Stone of Ancients, the Melody, Card of Demise, one of my all-time favorite synchros of all time, Diabolic, Terraforming Secret. It goes on and on and on and on. And of course, bottoms out at Delinquent Duo and Ash. So, just an incredible set. I highly recommend, if you guys have time, dip into it and start to make your selections. And really quickly, Legendary Collection 4, Joey's World version, Secret Rare of Torrential Tribute, has seen some exponential growth. Its now standing market price is around 16 bones for lightly played first edition. And there's only 3 pages of availability, so that was kind of interesting. Alright, so the next structure deck, or not the next structure deck, the structure deck after the next structure deck, is going to be Cyber Strike. And this is based off of Cyber Darks and Cyber Dragons, and this is a really crappy picture. I was trying to find a nicer picture. Anyway, I have not been able to find this on the eBay platform. There was a listing for a while, but I guess it got sold out, so now it's like taken away. But I'm a huge fan of collecting in not so much sealed product, but when it comes to structure decks, I really do have a lot of faith in sealed structure decks. To go on Amazon, eBay, TCG Player, whatever it may be, buy them in 8 deck cases, sealed first edition, and just hold on to them. Just hold on to them, keep them sealed, and give it like a year. A year is like the magical number of the time to wait when these structure decks start to go out of production and they become harder to find and they just get sold out of the stores and they just hold exponential growing value, which is really great. And again, there's a lot of hardcore Cyber Dragons out there, and I don't know if this is going to be like crazy good support and make Cyber Dragons a little bit more competitive than they already are, but just the sheer fact, if you look at like Shaddoll Showdown, I mean, there is like everyone and their mom is like a Shaddoll fan. And I think another one would be like Burning Abyss. Like, I'm really surprised that Burning Abyss has not got a structure deck, or maybe even Satellar Knights. That whole format, Satellar Knights, Burning Abyss, Shaddolls, really fun. And a lot of people talk about its infamy a lot. So, who knows? Maybe like Konami, are you listening? Are you gonna, this is gold. You guys should make a Burning Abyss and Satellar Knights structure decks. But it was really, generous that you made the Shaddoll one. So anyway, for that sheer fact alone, I mean, any structure deck, a year out, it's going to hold great value for specifically the sealed first editions, especially if you have cases, really nice, comes in like, these compact boxes and all that. So I'm just going to put that out there. Alright, so next is going to be Summon Limit. I'm a huge anti-meta player, and this is like one of like the best cards like ever. For like the longest time I've been following this card. I've always really loved this card at 3 in my anti-meta builds, and this obviously not too long ago it got a first hollow foil as an ultra rare, which is unfortunate because it should have been a secret rare. This is definitely good enough to be a secret rare. I think it was a big blunder on Konami to make this an ultra rare, but it is better than the common and these other like Tripping on Acid Duelist League versions. So very expensive card even for the lowest rarity of commons. I'm personally trying to trade for some of these right now because I personally have a giant fat Zip Zero, but it's an all-around incredible card. One thing that I also discovered this week is Summon Breaker. I had no idea about this card. Kind of actually shares similarities with the artwork here. You can see I think it's maybe the same. It looks like the same little dinosaur being locked down here. Anyway, this obviously is not quite as good, not quite as competitive. This one is an actual field magic card, and the huge limiting factor, this card would have just been completely blowout if it wasn't for this limiting factor. But I understand why Konami made this limiting factor, because this card would just be like ridiculous without this limiting factor. So definitely limited in its capabilities. Only 2 versions, both are common. This is the original one from Lord of Tachyon Galaxy, and relatively cheap. Let's see if we can find some stacks here. First stack like we played first edition is about a half a bone for factor and shipping for a stack of 27. So alternatively, I mean, just something kind of look at. Personally, I took this out of my build. I was playtesting this for a while, as well as Extra Net, which I really like this card a lot. This is actually a solo print out of Secrets of Eternity, which is pretty incredible. This is a very good card in general as well. Another field magic for, I mean, I would say it's safe to assume, anti-meta in general. Surprisingly, this is starting to dwindle. There's only 2 pages of availability. First stacks is a 27 stack from Core TCG for Near Mint First Edition is about a quarter bone. So definitely available in pretty good bulks for relatively affordable prices. But I just decided that over these two, because I used to run a single copy of both of these, but this is just an all-around better card, and hence, I mean, you can see the price trends. This is insanely expensive for what it is, but all around, this kind of just does the job better. These limit your opponent, but you might as well just lock your opponent out in general from doing the things that you're trying to stop. Next is going to be Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. So quickly, I want to review all the Ghost Girl hand traps. These cards are 2 prongs attacks because, one, they have huge collectability for just, being high rarity secret rares. They're aged throughout the years. and they have amazing artwork, like fantastic, unparalleled artwork. And another thing for competitive play, every once in a while, I mean, more so everyone knows that Ghost Ogre and Ash Blossom, these two are like the kind of like the kings of the Ghost Girls, or the queens of the Ghost Girls, that, you know, are constantly seeing play for the most part. But in even Ghost Belle, I mean, Ghost Belle has kind of seen, you know, some uptick as well. So anyway, I know that Ghost Ogre has an OTS Ultimate Rare. I personally have Ultimate Rare copies myself. I would much rather have First Edition Secrets, which I also have as well, and I love the Secret Rares to death. Personally, this is my favorite one because it's mostly for artwork. The artwork is just really great. She's got, you know, like the bloodshot eyes and like the demon horns and like the soul phantom spirit and the katana and just all this really great stuff. So near mint unlimiteds are 50 bones starting market price, but we don't really care about that because you want to go first edition, and it's going to cost you quite a bit. Starting market price near mint first edition is going to be 76 bones. It looks like this is for 3 stacks, so let me try to reset this, see if it goes down. Okay, so unlimited lightly played is around 47, and then, yeah, near mint is about 50, so it doesn't really change. 4 pages of availability, so really great stuff on that. Next is going to be the infamous, amazing, lovely Ash Blossom. Everyone hates this card. This is just seen, and this is continued to see just like astronomical price increases, especially I feel like the whole, like last year, this just keeps on going up and up and up for all versions, even the commons. Personally, I love the super rares myself from Shadows of Valhalla first editions exclusively, but obviously for collectability purposes, you know, I have a few copies of this first edition original print. Starting market price for this, it looks like it's already at 3 stacks as well, so let me try to take that off. Lightly played near mint is going to be around 61. Near mint is going to be 70 bones if you want a first edition. Starting market price for lightly played first edition is going to be 76 bones, and then near mint first edition is going to be roughly around 81 bones. So this is starting to climb towards its original release price of like 90 to like, I think the highest this went, I want to say, like back when Maximum Crisis was like, you know, brand new, I think it was like 120 or something. Very, very expensive. Obviously the most diverse hand trap of pretty much all time so far, so really, really great stuff. Ghost Belle, this is starting market price. This is, you know, going for 3 stacks as well, so we're just going to go ahead and switch this over. Lightly played unlimited is going to be around 31. Near mint is going to be 36. And there's 4 pages of availability. First edition is all the way at the second to last page for 44 for a lightly played. If you want near mint first edition, it's going to be about 49 bones, which is a 3 stack, which is kind of nice. But so again, like this is already starting. It's been for quite a while. These cards are just insanely high in value because these 3 for the most part are relatively playable. I mean, they always are kind of more so these 2 obviously, but you know, Ghost Belle is having some good rotations. And again, high rarity secret rare. You know, only getting older with age. Amazing artwork and fluctuate between the meta, and just really great collector cards in general. Next is going to be my second favorite, which actually Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. I love the pink hair, the Death Scythe, really great stuff on this, and this is actually one of the more affordable ones, definitely. You know, unlimiteds are a couple bones here and there, but again, you always want to go first edition, you know, white Mexican theory, but player preference. So there is a lightly played first edition here for about 8 bones. That's the first edition here on the market for TCGP. And then if you want near mint first edition, it's going to be about 11 bones. I'm going to switch over to stacks for the OG print. Starting market price for near mint first edition is going to be about 10 bones a piece, and you factor in 99-cent shipping. One thing to note, this, out of all the hand traps, girl, the Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries is the only one to have a mirrored Megaton reprint. Now take note that the Megaton 2017 mirrored secret rare reprint does not have the same hollow foil as the original. If you look at the Shining Victories original, it's a little less predominant, a little bit more lighter, as opposed to the reprinted secret rare where it's a lot more thicker and a lot more predominant. Personally, I do appreciate this secret rare foiling a little bit more than the original one, but that's just, you know, player preference, completely up to you guys on this. Now keep in mind, even though this is a very much a reprint and a little bit more, you know, less desirable to a certain extent, This is still a high rarity secret rare. 2017 was 4+ years ago, going on plus years ago now. So relatively getting up there in age. And again, these are still very much secret rare, very much first editions, and very, very, gorgeous in general. So, and they're insanely affordable, especially compared to the original print. So not discontinue these. These are relatively affordable here. It's about 2 bones. There's a 3 stack for Near Mint First Edition. There's another stack here for Near Mint First Edition for 3. So, and there's only 3 pages available. So if you guys don't want to pay 10+ bones for the originals, a healthy alternative would be to pick up some stacks for the reprints, which are obviously going to take longer to go up, but they're still very much going to hold great value. Next is going to be Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. This is going to be, let's see here, this is stacks, so we're going to take off stacks. Lily Plate Unlimited is going to be about 7 bones. Near Mint is going to be roughly around a little bit over 7 bones as well. There's 5+ pages of availability. The first edition lightly played is going to be 9 bones, and then first edition Near Mint is going to be around 10 bones. Going to switch over to stacks. First edition Near Mints are 10 bones. This happens to be a nice plethora of a 7 stack from Sunshine Games. So not really a bad price, 10 bones, honestly. I mean, again, amazing rarity. A relatively good card. I mean, I run this in a 3 stack in my Mermaid Atlanteans. It's been a long time since I played that deck, but I really, really love that deck. I'm a big fanboy of that deck. And I love this card. I love water stuff, and again, it's part of the Ghost Girl package, and it's really great collectability value. Next is going to be the newest one, Ghost Mourner. Really love the name, Ghost Mourner and Moonlight Chill. It's a really solid name for this. Not like the best for artwork. I like the little croissant mood over here. It's pretty cool, but one of the more situational ones, I think, for the most part, besides Reaper. And this one's relatively expensive. I mean, starting market price, well, these are for stacks, is about, 22 bones. If you want to go onesie, twosies, we're going to switch back over. There's a German, first edition German European one here. There's a 2 stack for roughly around 17 after you factor in shipping. And English Near Mint first edition is roughly around 18. So, again, I don't really have a solid preset price to pick these up on. Obviously, they were a lot more affordable a long time ago, especially for the older ones, more specifically Reaper. Reaper's always really been the only one that's been relatively affordable. And then yes, obviously there's a Starlight Rare of this. I personally don't collect Starlight Rares. I think it's awesome. They put a new twist on the collector's market, but personally they're just way too expensive, my personal preference. But again, to each their own. Next is going to be Beat Cop from the Underworld. This is one of the only collector's rare that I want. I don't really think collector's rare looks very good. I really, really wish that Konami would have manufactured this in secret rare as opposed to the ultimate rares, because the collector's rare, because the collector's rare just come off kind of like a cheap knockoff of ultimate rare. I just think ultimate rares look so much more aesthetically pleasing than the collector's rare. It just doesn't quite cut it for me personally, but this is the new highest rarity that we have for this. Obviously originally came out as an ultra rare and dual power, and then got the super rare treatment, and then the collector's rare in this. So starting market price for this is 35 bones for Near Mint first edition, but if you check eBay, you can actually get it for 30 bones here. So there is a stack of 3 here for 30 bones, and apparently these are collector's rare as well. It's not obviously actually I guess it is actually kind of how the collector's rare looks like. So it's kind of just snapped off, so kind of interesting. So yeah, that's another thing to keep in mind. The TCGP platform is not scripture, it's not gospel. I mean, you can definitely shop around a little bit and use alternative avenues and save some bones. Alright, so the last card I'm going to be showcasing for you guys tonight is going to be Fusion Gate. This is not the original print, but it's the original holographic rare as a super rare, starting from, of course, the Legendary Collection 3 Infamous Yugi's World. I don't know, tell me what you guys think about this. I just think this is a relatively good card, and it's got really cool artwork, and I don't know, the mechanics behind it is just really interesting, and I really do appreciate fusions a lot. They got some pretty cool effects. And this is relatively affordable, so we're going to go ahead and switch over to stacks. Surprisingly enough, there's only a single stack of 3 here for a bone plus for lightly played first edition, but you got this terrible shipping of 4 here, so Completely up to you guys on this one. This would ideally be the best choice that I would personally go for, but of course you also have the Fusion Enforcers super rare. So these two are the only holofoils, and then Labyrinth of Nightmare. That's really cool. Labyrinth of Nightmare was the original one. So I mean, I wouldn't discredit, because this is Gen 1, I didn't know that this card was that old. Labyrinth of Nightmare. I used to call this the purple set back in the day. Really, really old, nostalgic, great stuff. So I'm going to switch over to stacks. I wonder what the first editions. So there's not even stacks available for first edition, so rightfully so. This is kind of unattainable even for the first edition, or for the, first editions, because it's, OG print, insanely old. But, so yeah, since the Legendary Collection 3 one's kind of knocked off the market for stacks, I definitely wouldn't discredit the second best, which is going to be the Fusion Enforcers super rare. And let's see, let's go ahead and switch over to stacks here. So these are European Italian. These are insanely cheap. There's a half bone for 79, and then for English there is a 24 stack here for about a bone before you factor in shipping. So pretty cool stuff on that. That is all I have for you guys tonight. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been part of my life for almost 2 decades. I feel extremely compassionate about this game. I love the brotherhood, the trading, the deck building. I'm very proud to be part of this Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Community is amazing for the most part. A lot of people are really respectable people, and it's just a really fun hobby to have. Link below is going to be to my Facebook. Any of you guys can add me, message me. I would love to talk to you guys about anything Yu-Gi-Oh! Related. I hope you guys are making some fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh! Investments yourself. This has been a showcasing by The White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.